was a friend of Leo's mother. At first it was just Joyce and Butch, and then come along Leo, and he became my child. And today there he is, big strapping young man. And I'm so proud of him because he's picked himself up and came a long way.
A long life, longevity. I just want to do God's will. I just want to do God's will. Well, I don't know what will happen now. A long life, longevity.
You know, no matter where you are in this world, what we gotta do, we gotta live together.
I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen.
Somebody that I just can't express my feelings for. You're so deep. But the deepness goes back to his mother because our friendship was just that bonded. So many things she did I didn't understand. Like when I came from the hospital and happened to stop by on Caldwell Street and found him on a suitcase with just a wet diaper and a mess diaper, eating his own feces. I picked him up and took him to the sink and washed him off and carried him up Fulton Street to my residency and laid him on the bed with my son and my daughter, and he became my child.
This is my job. I've been performing for the last 30 years here on Miami Beach. Life has been good. Playing for people half my age, making them happy. People from all over the world. It's a hard job sometimes, but somebody's got to do it. It's really hard to keep my mind focused after I received a call from Pittsburgh from a friend who just lost a child to the senseless violence, the murder, the carnage, the killing field. I know I must go home to help stop the violence. Killings.
Change has come, doo-doo, doo-doo, until my change has come, doo-doo, doo-doo. I want you to help me, Lord.
This is Pittsburgh, the place of my birth, my town, my Israel, a town of genius such as Carnegie, Mellon, and August Wilson. On one hand, we have the great wealth, and on the other, the manufactured poverty. My heart was pulled back here because of the senseless killings of young black men by other young black men. To share my story and to help stop this violence, to stop the carnage. That's my goal.
My house was right there. We came home from school one day and they had a sign of condemnation on the door. And I think they gave us something like maybe 2 weeks to move. And they decimated the whole community.
What year was that?
That was about in 1959.
Feel your presence, Lord. Until my changes come. Yes, Lord. Hallelujah, Lord.
My way may not be easy, but you never said that it would be. When I'm in darkness and I can't find my way, you told me to put my trust in you.
Please, Lord.
For the last couple of years, I've been communicating with this wonderful and great sister, Deborah Germany, through emails and telephone calls, and I'm so privileged to finally get a chance to meet her in person. She started a great ministry here in Pittsburgh called the Divine Intervention Ministries, and it's such a pleasure.
Thank you. Divine Intervention Ministry was birthed through the death of my son Raymond Germany. God had placed it in my spirit to reach back and help other young men like my son who were murdered. And out of a lot of pain came this ministry. But before, a little later, Valerie Dixon had approached me about a concept she had about a billboard campaign. God had gave her a vision to create a billboard, and she approached me with it. And I agreed to let my son be on a billboard, and through us sitting on different task force and things, we formed a ministry. We started with the billboard campaign, but then it developed into a help center to help the hurting families whose children were murdered or homicides remain unsolved. So now we help about 80 families. We started with 5, now we have 80. But my focus right now is prison ministry. I'm helping young men in prison so that they won't end up on the billboard.
You know, I think that's a wonderful thing you're doing, and to turn sadness and sorrow into something really positive. I think a lot of us can learn something from it. And so, where are the billboards placed?
They're placed throughout the city of Pittsburgh, at Allegheny County. We have a strong partnership with Lamar Outdoor Advertising and the Witness Protection Program.
Some of the pictures that you brought with you today, are those the posters? I mean,
Yes.
As far as the billboards?
This is the billboard campaign that we're currently running. The $5,000 reward. This was my son Raymond and another young man, Mr. Milton Colbert. They were both killed in the Hill District. The Witness Protection is the phone number that you can call on our website. And we also have another campaign that's running in the Lowe's theaters in Pittsburgh. When you're waiting on a movie to start, we're asking anyone for information and showing them that the Witness Protection Program works. This is Valerie Dixon's son, Rob, is how the billboard campaign started with the death of her son, Robert Dixon. And this is a picture of my son when we had happier times when he was here. This was a family reunion in '97, was one of the few times that he was home. And I miss him a lot. Ray was my only child. He didn't have any children. So the death of him is really final for me. It took generations away from me, my grandchildren. But with God as my guide, I'm determined to reach back and help other young men like Ray find the resources that they need so that they don't spend their life in prison or dead. And they're all being tricked by the enemy.
And so was anyone ever arrested for Raymond's murder?
We had a trial, but one young man was acquitted and the main shooter was never arrested. So I'm believing God for a miracle. That's what he specializes in. It'll be 5 years this July, but God promised me that I'll have justice, and I'm just going to wait and trust him.
God bless you, sister. And I'm really admiring your T-shirt. You think you could show us your T-shirt, the front and back?
Yes, I speak to the youth across the state of Pennsylvania, And when I speak, I wear this shirt to show them who Ray was. And the message on the back of the shirt says, "Don't wait for 6 strong men to bring you back to church." Because a lot of our young men are coming back in a coffin, never knowing Jesus. And my prayer is that they would get to know God and do something positive with their life. And it's really helping. Valerie also speaks to youth all day in juvenile court. She has a great impact in the community as well. So I believe if we reach our youth when they're young, they have a chance of making it, instilling the things that are important. Like my son chose to sell drugs in spite of him coming from a good home. So when I speak to the youth, I tell them his story, the good and the bad. I don't sugarcoat it. Yeah, he was a drug dealer, and that's why he's dead today. So I don't act like he was just this perfect young man, because he wasn't. But to let them know that one of the benefits of selling drugs is a bullet in your head. And that's what Ray got. He got shot 7 times, 6 in his body, once in the back of his head, and it came out his eye. And I let them know that. That's the last time I seen him, laying on a table in a body bag.
It is necessary, not only for the African American community, but for everybody in this county, in this city, to pitch in whatever way to try to stop this carnage.
Witnesses a child, the greats, Count Basie, John Coltrane, Miles Davis, who all performed here at the New Granada Theater. I remember when the new Twist movies would come out and we would jump on the stage and dance to the movies. This place brings back a lot of memories, and a lot of the greatness in the jazz field and R&B field performed right here at the New Granada Theater. Whereas a child, I attended many concerts, and I remember the lines of people that would line up along the curb waiting to go into the New Granada Theater. And how I would, as a young child, I would sit in the front row, second row, and dream that one day that I could play with Miles Davis and John Coltrane. But it seems like almost like a time warp. And standing here now, 40 years later, I can almost close my eyes and hear Miles Davis playing. Or I can close my eyes and hear Count Basie's whole 14-piece orchestra playing here. I just wish that we could bring it back to its level of grandeur and greatness. So much soul, so much art, so much of what we are, not only as a people but as a nation, and the contributions that we've made to the music field, musicians and artists that'll live forever, who perform here.
Thank you. Again, good afternoon. My name is Jack Fishke. I'm the Director of Inmate Programs here at the Allegheny County Jail. To our honored guests, to our family, to our friends, thank you for taking time out of your day and being with us this afternoon. This time I'd like to call upon Reverend Chris Glover for an invocation.
For those of you who are not watching others, if you could bow your heads. There are words by Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King that I'd like to share as part of our invocation. In a real sense, all life is interrelated.
I just really would like to take this time to thank the Allegheny County Jail and the Allegheny Intermediate Unit for allowing the AmeriCorps program and myself and Mary Rose to bring our services here. I get to experience the good side of everything that goes on in this institution.
Hello everyone, my name is Ashley Hodder and I'm the teacher of the art class, the evening art class with the adults. And I just want to say congratulations to all the graduates.
Leonard was a soft-spoken student who, when he first came to the classroom, I'm sure he didn't know what to expect.
Anyway, I want to just express how happy I am to be here and what a pleasure it's been.
A mutual friend of ours by the name of Lewis Hop Kendrick, who writes an article in the New Pittsburgh Courier called Tell the Truth, called me up one day and said, meet me at Hill House. I said, for what? He said, man, just come down to Hill House. There's a guy down there doing this film on the Hill District. I need you to come down there. So I went on down there. When I got there was Leo Casino. And he had this film crew. And he said, I need to interview some people about the Hill District. And I was dressed casually. I wasn't all dressed up. I said, oh, man, wish I had known in advance. Wish Hop had told me about this. But I had a chance to meet Dr. Casino and talk to him about his experiences in the Hill. And he gave me an opportunity to share some of my experiences because I grew up in the Hill District. And we bonded there. I didn't know him before personally. Living in the same neighborhood, growing up, but I didn't know him. He's probably maybe a little bit older than me. But we got to know each other. We got to know each other. And so that's how I met him. And I was very excited about his project, and I thought later on I'd hear more about it. Still a little upset with Hop because he didn't tell me to dress up. But I get this email one day from Leo Casino. He says, I need some help. He said, I'm coming to Pittsburgh, and I want to do some things in the city, some concerts. I want to share. I want to go over to the county jail, and I want to do a program there. And I said, okay. I said, I'll help you. And so I contacted the warden and told him what I needed to do, and the rest is history.
Dr. Leo Casino.
I'd like to start off by saying I'm really honored. I guess I'm about as Pittsburgh as you can get, about as Pittsburgh as the Steelers. My mother was a prostitute and a heroin addict. She lived with a pimp. His name was Sonny Kearns. And Sonny was a little sick. You know, like I was 5 and 6 months old. You know, when I would cry as a baby, rather than, you know, giving me a bottle of milk, you know, Sonny would skin pop me with heroin. And I have a younger brother, and he had it worse than I did. You know, Sonny would, you know, sometimes he'd get mad and he put his cigarettes out on his arms, and until the day I go to San Francisco and visit my brother, and I look at his arms and he still has the cigarette burns on his arms.
First, I want to thank the graduation class. Today, y'all made history. It's not only Black history, but y'all made history. All right. I have a poem on behalf of Black History Month and celebration in a whole. It's called Black Rain.
And, I'm here to explain some of the class to you. I mean, we have like 5 different areas of our class.
We are blessed with the fact that we're having this graduation today. We have to fall on in February, African American History Month.
At this time, I'd like to call upon Warden Ramon Rustin for some remarks. Warden?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Again, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everybody that's here today. The family and friends of the graduates, our distinguished guests, Dr. Leo Casino and Councilman Bill Robinson. I'm honored to have these special guests here today. It really reflects positively on Allegheny County Jail.
I'm Jack Pischke. I'm the inmate administrator here at the Allegheny County Jail. I've been with the Allegheny County Jail for 23 years now. I first started off, I had fathers, and so many years, sons, and now after 23 years, I'm into the third generation of grandchildren being here in the county jail. We offer a wide variety of programs in the Allegheny County Jail, rehabilitative programs, education, computer literacy, arts. Many of the inmates that we service in our education department, for some reason or another, did not take education seriously when they were out in the streets. And now, for whatever reasons, they've chose to attempt to get their GED while they're here. So much so that we have waiting lists of inmates trying to get into our GED program, our computer literacy programs. We've expanded to a night school where we have them coming down at night. One of the programs we're really proud of is an inmate tutoring program. It's inmates tutoring other inmates for their GED, mentoring them along. It's not something that you see normally in a correctional facility. Inmates helping other inmates doing something positive. That program alone probably represents 50% of our GEDs from last year. And those inmates are maximum security inmates and inmates that may not feel comfortable in a traditional classroom setting. They feel more comfortable up on their housing pods being tutored one-on-one.
My name is Andre Evans, and I'm giving them permission to do this interview.
So what you want to do when you get out?
What I want to do when I get out? Yeah. Honestly, I'm going to further my education in the field of sociology as well as creative arts. Yeah. You know, that's
so how long you been locked up?
Well, I've been locked up for a whole year. And during that time, I crystallized the forces that was always at work within me, the forces that I neglected in the past. You know, and sort of like I grew up.
You think you want to come back?
I'll come back to work. I don't want to come back in these. No, I look towards those mentors, and I look at their downfalls as well as their upsides. And I look back on the young kids, and I see the chances they have, and which informs me that I too have a chance as well. So I learned that everything that was taught to me, in turn, I teach to the younger ones.
So what was you doing? Heroin or what?
Actually, I was doing a little bit of both. I was selling drugs, you know, in the narcotics game, blowing up. I actually started using my own product. You know, I used my own product, heroin, cocaine, was strung out, and I stopped from selling drugs to stealing. Was my source of, you know, gaining crack or heroin, whatever it was. I would go steal. Yeah, it's like I use all my skills in a negative sense. But see, now I pruned all the negative skills that I had and balled them up and made it into a powerful, positive force.
You know, but you could do something with your life, man. So I'm gonna see you here Friday. We're gonna talk again, all right?
Sir.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Look up my nephew. Yeah, this is the #2 police station. I remember when Martin Luther King was assassinated, I came here to make a complaint against a couple officers that were beating up an old lady right up the street here. And I went and opened up this door and I filed the complaint and I received a Rodney King-like beat.